He is one of the best shooters in the SEC and the country. Chris Lofton of Tennessee. Tonight on FSN, you can catch a shooting star. And that shooting star resides in Knoxville. That's where we are tonight. We've got the Murray State Racers out of the Ohio Valley Conference and the Volunteers of Tennessee. Hi everybody, Rich Waltz along with Barry Booker. Welcome to Knoxville. Welcome to Chris Lofton's world. The rest of the Volunteers are just residing in it right now. This is one hot shooter.
Chris Lofton, the great three-point shooter, the best shooter in the Southeastern Conference, and possibly the best in the country. When he gets open and gets his feet set beyond the three-point line, it's over. Just count it. Lofton, coming off a 31-point performance at Louisiana Lafayette on Monday night, has been playing extraordinarily well when he can get the three-point shot going. But when you can take that away from him, as Murray State will try to do tonight, it can be a little more tough.
Let's talk Murray State. This is a perennial NCAA tournament team that is rebuilding right now, a very balanced scoring team.
Yeah, they are a balanced team, and they're a bigger team. That tends to give Tennessee trouble, but Sean Witherspoon, the big guy inside, second on that list right there, a good scorer down low, should give Tennessee some trouble inside. And with this balanced attack, it's hard to figure out how to handle the Racers.
When we get back, we will talk inside. A big man on campus, brand new to the Volunteers. We'll talk about Duke Cruz and have the starting lineups coming up. Thompson Bowling Arena, the Murray State Racers, the Volunteers of Tennessee, FSN's College Hoops. Rich Waltz, Barry Booker back here. One concern for Bruce Pearl, big kids. Not because he doesn't have talent, he just doesn't have experience. And there, Duke Cruz is a freshman who's playing and is coming along.
He really is coming along, averaging 9 points and 5 rebounds a game. He's a solid inside guy and really gives Tennessee a little bit better rebounding at the center position than they had with Major Wingate inside. But very athletic. He, along with Wayne Chisholm, a solid pair of big freshman kids inside for Tennessee.
All right, here are the lineups for Murray State and for Tennessee. Jordan Howe gets his second start at the point guard spot. He got a win in his last start at Louisiana Lafayette. Sean Witherspoon, a very good scorer. Tyler Holloway, the point guard for Murray State as well. Tennessee, Murray State, FSN College Hoops from Knoxville.
Send South.
This presentation of College Hoops on FSN is brought to you by Dodge, by Chevrolet, and by Southeast Toy. Billy Kennedy in his first year, former head coach at Southeastern Louisiana, spent a year at Centenary. His first year at Murray State, a rebuilding year. It's been a tough go, a very difficult schedule to begin his season. And the Volunteers at 5-2, the Racers at 2-5. And Duke Cruz wins the tap. Jordan Howe getting the start at the point guard spot, his second start of the season.
Tennessee having trouble handling the basketball early in the season this year. They are turning it over about 19 times a game so far this year. So getting Jordan Howe, a little more experienced guy out there, helping to cut down on those turnovers.
Long shot by Smith. Bradshaw the rebound. Clean look for Howell. And it's run down by Rob Kennedy, a junior center from Murray State.
Tennessee playing with these four guards. They really rely on their three-point shooting. They missed 2 cracks at it. Good looks, just couldn't get them down.
Where will Murray State get their points from?
Well, they need to try to get them from inside. They can't take those kinds of shots if they're going to win this game tonight.
And Billy Kennedy said, we have not faced a Bruce Pearl type pressure team this year. Pearl, the head coach at Tennessee, brings that press, that defensive pressure that he learned from Tom Davis. Lofton off a screen, and he's stripped from behind. Sean Witherspoon's a good player. He made the steal.
Very good hands by Witherspoon, knocking it away from Lofton.
Kennedy a 3.
Both teams jacking it up from deep so far. Murray State needs to concentrate on getting that basketball inside. That's where they can do their best work.
Smith to Cruz, and he was undercut by Witherspoon.
You can see the athleticism from Duke Cruz on that play. Went up high to catch that basketball and maintain possession for Tennessee.
Last year, 22-8, champions of the East and the SEC. You can see a 27-10 record.
Yeah, the East Division, the SEC last year was pretty good.
Yeah. And I think everybody just assumes that Florida won it.
Yeah.
Florida won the national championship.
Yeah.
They forget that it was Tennessee.
Lost by 2 to the mighty Volunteers. Got swept by Tennessee last year, did the Florida Gators.
Yeah, the man with the ball in his hand hit free throws in both of those games. Dame Bradshaw. Lofton drills his first. That's not a good sign for Murray State.
Well, Murray State went to a zone defense on that inline out-of-bounds situation, and you absolutely have to find Chris Lofton. He was open right up at the three-point line. If he gets it off, most likely it's going in.
Witherspoon. Tyler Holloway, little point guard. Ed Horton, a lefty with it out near half court. Horton, nice jump stop and a very good feed to Rob Kennedy. First 2 points for the Racers.
Pretty pass by Horton along that baseline. Finally, Murray State goes to their inside game to get a bucket.
It's a block on Kennedy on the Cruz drive.
Duke Cruz really maturing, developing into a solid player, and Chris Lofton has been a solid player for quite some time for Tennessee. The junior open on the three-point line, and it's money.
Again, how about that?
If he gets it off, it's going in.
Not only the best shooter in the SEC, some say, but maybe the best contested shooter in the country.
Oh man, yeah, it looks like he's kind of a smaller guy, only 6'2", so you would think you could crowd him, get a taller guy on him and contest that shot. But Lofton outstanding at leaning back a little bit, extending on that shot and knocking it down, even when he is closely contested.
This is Murray's first test of the pressure, a press that ate Louisiana Lafayette alive. Tennessee with a 10-point win at Louisiana Lafayette to begin the week. Nice look inside, and Witherspoon is fouled by Bradshaw. His first.
Nice job with a high-low setup from Murray State. Feeding it high and then kicking it inside quickly, taking advantage of the matchup. Having Witherspoon being guarded by Bradshaw. Here's that pass up high. That's Rob Kennedy catching it at the foul line, feeding it inside. Nice job with the spacing and the set by Murray State.
Now, Sean Witherspoon is the only returning starter from last year's NCAA tournament team. The Racers went 24-7, 17-3. They took North Carolina to the buzzer, lost by 4 in the NCAA tournament. They lost 4 starters, 9 players, and 1 head coach. Mick Cronin went to Cincinnati.
Yeah, Billy Kennedy had to go out and find 10 new players for this year's club after he got hired in April.
Bradshaw, difficult shot. Cruz, he's fouled. And it's Witherspoon. It's his second.
Nice job by Tennessee attacking the basket that time. Bradshaw putting the ball on the floor, getting it right to the rim. That set up the rebound opportunity for Cruz.
You know, one of the assistants just tapped Billy Kennedy on the shoulder and said, that's 2 on Witherspoon. And he turned around and said, I know. What do you want me to do?
Yeah.
Witherspoon is their best player, and he's got 2 fouls, just 3 minutes and change into this ball game.
Big trouble for Murray State. The Racers probably still a little bit deeper inside than is the Tennessee team.
Cruz hits a couple free throws. Here comes the pressure. And Tyler Holloway brings it across. Holloway, 6'2", 175. He's out of Decatur, Alabama. He played on last year's team, but didn't play much early. This is him with the ball. You can see they're trying to get it to Witherspoon on that right wing. He's a slasher. Powell, Lofton, Cruz, and he's fouled. Ed Horton got him.
And a dimension to Chris Lofton's game that he has improved dramatically this year. Lofton better able to put the ball on the floor, get into the lane, score himself, or more likely create for his teammates. There he is driving to the lane, 4 racers around him as he put it on the floor. Lofton able to set up Cruz and get him to the foul line.
It's not a play he would make as a freshman.
No, no. He got better at it as a sophomore and has improved even more now in his junior year.
You can see Ramar Smith right behind Cruz, who's checked into the ball game, the young freshman.
Highly touted freshman. Started the first 5 ball games for Tennessee, but has been relegated to reserve role now for Tennessee.
Tell you what, if Murray State doesn't rebound better, it's going to be a quick night. 5-1 the rebounding advantage for Tennessee.
Tennessee, a small club playing with 4 guards most of the time, still doing the job on the glass.
Smith finds Bradshaw, who buries the 3.
And an excellent play from Ramar Smith to get in the lane, maintain control, and find Dane Bradshaw hitting the open 3.
Trouble with pressure. Tennessee with some 3-point shots. A couple from Chris Lofton, and then Dane Bradshaw delivers. It's 11-4 out of the gates.
Welcome back to Knoxville with the Tennessee Vols leading early 11-4, and the big reason why they're leading is Chris Lofton's outstanding shooting. We'll take a little bit of a look at that inside, how Chris Lofton gets that shot off and why he is so effective. First of all, it takes space and location to get that 3-point shot off. Lofton does a great job creating the space. Here he is putting it on the floor a little bit in warm-ups, and he gets his feet set underneath him. There he is, perfect balance, his shoulders square to the basket. He gets that ball up high over his head and then finishes strong with that follow-through. And once he gets it in the air, it almost always goes in.
He's hit a couple, and that's one of the reasons Tennessee's up 11-4 right now. Bruce Carter in the ball game for the Racers, their leading scorer off the bench, and it's off the hands of Sean Witherspoon.
Murray State just having a tough time handling the basketball, not able to take advantage of their size inside so far. And on the other end, Chris Lofton heating up early for Tennessee, carrying the load, but he's out of the game right now.
Into the game is Wayne Chisholm. Witherspoon the offside rebound. Chisholm replacing Cruz. Those two have yet to play together in a game. There was some speculation maybe tonight Bruce Pearl would put both of those freshmen at the same time out on the floor. Good feed. Kennedy missed the layup, and Chisholm runs down the loose ball.
Good job by Chisholm contesting that shot. Didn't commit the foul, but made it tough.
Tough shot. Ramar Smith, Mount Clemens, Michigan.
Ramar Smith showing what he can do. He is an outstanding athlete getting to the basket.
Carter. Another rebound for Tennessee. Jawan Smith tied up, and the arrow will go to the Murray State Racers.
And Ramar Smith, part of the reason he's having a tough time adjusting to the college game is that when he gets to the basket, he's not used to having those big trees there to contest his shot. But on that play, he got to the basket. He really read that situation well, knew that in transition he could get in there and finish, and did a great job getting it to the rim.
Another reason is he's a combo guard. He's a guy that was a scorer, played a little bit of point in high school, and then stepping into on your freshman year of the SEC and playing point is not easy.
I've tried that before, and Ramar.
How did it go?
Ramar's handling it quite a bit better than I did. And Ramar is having a tough time right now. But he is such a good athlete, a good player. He will develop and find his way at Tennessee.
Shot clock running down. Horton's shot won't go. Tennessee a 9-2 advantage on the boards.
Tennessee doing a great job rebounding, and Chisholm,
a good three-point shooter.
He has rebounded well, and they're showing his range.
He's 9 of 19 from beyond the arc, and a foul. Look at Bruce Pearl nearly jump right out of his loafers.
Not happy at all with how Tennessee handled that transition defense situation.
Josh Tabb with the foul and the scolding.
Yeah, Tennessee really got crossed up after the made basket. They're trying to get into their press. And that's what happens when you have freshmen, when you have guys who aren't experienced, who don't understand how you're trying to play. It takes them some time to figure things out, and so they just flow as the situations change.
Dwayne Paul at the line, the senior, the transfer from Birmingham Southern. Murray State got a rebound. That's a long, long three. Paul runs it down. And Tennessee trying to start the break.
Long three from Holloway. He's struggling shooting the basketball. Only 3 of 11 from three-point range his last couple of games.
Ryan Childress with the drive. And he was cut off by Tony Easley. Billy Kennedy and his ball club down big early, 16-4.
Tennessee controlling this game in every way. They're three-point shooting, they're rebounding, everything going right for the Vols early on.
15 foul. There's the lob to Chisholm. Followed by Childress. And he walks.
Well, he got fouled as he was shooting the basketball, but couldn't get his balance as he tried to regain it, get the shot up again.
Nice press break. Murray State dropping the pass was Easley and then traveling.
And that's what Tennessee does to you. They get you playing at a faster tempo than you want. Murray State really falling into that trap, rushing it down the court and turning the basketball over.
Look at the run, the drought as well. Murray State outscored 10-0. Smith at the point, and Tony Pasley, a sophomore, into the ball game. It's a push and a foul on Tyler Holloway. It's a Tennessee club that has won everywhere but New York. In New York, in the semifinals of the NIT, they ran into a tough Butler team and then lost to North Carolina in the consolation game.
I think it's real important for Tennessee to make it to New York. They get a couple of extra games with a young team. Nothing replaces that game experience.
In the corner, Lofton. He's got 9.
Cash money. Murray State again in that zone defense on the inline out of bounds situation. And again, Tennessee finds Chris Lofton.
That was a quick 5-second count.
It was quite quick. And dribble penetration. Once again, Ramar Smith doing a nice job staying under control and setting up a teammate with a little dribble penetration and finding the man, Chris Lofton, in the corner.
15-point lead by Tennessee. Chisholm wide open. And it will stay with Tennessee.
Good job by Carter to knock it away. And I guess the only good thing for Murray State, quite a few of their turnovers have forced Tennessee to take the basketball out of bounds instead of the steals and throwing the ball away and let Tennessee get into transition play.
Pasley, athletic move, and it stays with Tennessee. Timeout on the floor. You think we were kidding about Chris Lofton? He's 3 of 3 from beyond the arc. Tennessee up big early. (19-4) Tennessee on top. You've seen Chris Lofton. Well, how do you defend him? We asked Billy Kennedy, the Murray State coach, that very question.
Well, we're not going to help off on anybody. You don't stop Chris Lofton. You slow him down and hope he misses. So we've got to hope he misses some shots and just be aware of him at all times.
That's not how you defend Chris Lofton, Rich. You don't hope he misses. He's not going to miss. You can't let him take shots.
They need to hope harder.
No. You got to keep the ball out of his hands when he is anywhere near the three-point line.
Pasley steps inside, can't hit it. And the rebound to Bruce Carter. Sean Witherspoon, Murray State's best player, most experienced, on the bench with 2 personal fouls. It's one of the reasons they're on about a 6-minute drought right now without a point.
Murray State also playing without Kevin Thomas, who's out for a couple of weeks with an injury and probably would be their starting point guard. The Racers a little bit short-handed to begin with, but the foul trouble and injuries even more trouble.
Ed Horton drops through a 3.
It's a almost 6.5-minute scoring drought ended for Murray State.
Chisholm has played very well off the bench. That one went out of the hands of Pasley. Pushing it is Carter with the left hand. Bruce Carter, 12 points a game, leading scorer, and he comes off the bench.
Nice finish there by Bruce Carter to get that basket down. And Billy Kennedy needs Bruce Carter to come in, heat up in a hurry, get things going for the Racers. 5-0 run.
Oh, Chisholm, another 3. And a foul coming in from the outside was Ramar Smith. That's something when you've got a 6'9", 245 block of granite who can step out and shoot the 3. I mean, Chisholm right now is 9 of 20 from beyond the arc this year.
Yeah, that's amazing. The freshman has great touch, shoots the basketball very well from outside. And Tennessee taking advantage of that. And when you have your big guy out there shooting, the guards have to crash in.
Racers call a timeout. They were unable to get it in the pressure. And that's a tough spot to inbound a ball when it's an out of bounds and not a made basket, because made basket against pressure, you can run the baseline. When you're stationary, Tennessee's pressure heats up even more.
Yeah, the Vols do a couple of different things, a few little nuances on their press, but they do a great job just denying the basketball and putting pressure on the guy taking the basketball out of bounds, trying to get deflections and get turnovers, get easy baskets. That helps Tennessee so much, is generating those easy baskets off their press.
That press was the difference in the game at Louisiana Lafayette. The Volunteers won by 10, but they forced double-digit turnovers with their press and turned most of those turnovers into buckets.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Pearl about that a little bit today, and he was saying that it's just kind of a change of pace. You know, teams don't see this pressure defense, the full court pressure defense. They don't see it all the time. They don't work against it. Don't have a lot of counters to handle the pressure defense in the full court setting, and it is tough to manage, tough to get ready for it.
Almost a travel, probably could have been.
That skid on the court. He's trying to maintain his dribble.
Ed Horton down near the timeline. Jordan Howe's back in the game for Tennessee. So is Duke Cruz. From the corner, rising is Bruce Carter. He's got a couple buckets. And Murray State has signs of life. They're down 7. They strip the ball loose. And here come the Racers. And a free throw. Dwayne Paul. All 6'5", 250 of them.
Great job by Dwayne Paul running the court. Another of those transfers from Birmingham Southern, hustling down the court to get that basket. And Murray State taking advantage of Tennessee turning the basketball over. I mentioned the trouble that the Vols have had at times this year handling the basketball, 19 turnovers a game. Murray State converting those into Tennessee getting outstanding shots so far in this ball game, and a lot of them because of their rebounding ability.
I think 3 of his 5 rebounds came in that sequence. Cruz out of Hampton, Virginia.
There he is, putting it on the board and going after it. That's the way to pad your rebounding stats. Just go get your own miss. Cruz, such a great shooter inside, 49% from the field. But he's having a little bit more trouble handling these big guys in college play as well. Talk about Ramar Smith having a little bit of trouble handling the bigger players. These freshmen, it takes some time to adjust.
Murray State into their half-court offense. A lob pass, and not a good one. Curtis Parker couldn't handle it. 5 turnovers for Murray State. It's a 7-point ball game. A lot of orange here. Thompson Bowling Arena in Knoxville. as the Volunteers are home after playing at Louisiana Lafayette, and home for a while against a great schedule coming up. Backdoor cut, Lofton. And he'll go to the free throw line. Memphis is coming in, Western Kentucky coming in, Oklahoma State at Nashville, and then Texas. It's quite a 4-game run.
Here's Tennessee taking advantage of the pressure that teams like to apply to Chris Lofton at the three-point line. Lofton going back door. Good play, good setup by Tennessee to get Lofton an open layup, an open shot at the basket. She couldn't get down, but he's at the foul line.
Tennessee has not shot free throws well this year, 60% on the season. One of the numbers that you would expect will improve as the season goes along with a young team. You know, Murray State's going to run out of timeouts at this rate.
Tennessee's pressure forcing Murray State to call those timeouts in bunches.
Well, to start the week, it was Cajun country. That's where the Volunteers were, and it was the press that just ate the Raging Cajuns alive.
Yeah, Tennessee does a great job putting that pressure on, creating easy opportunities for themselves just by getting those deflections, getting the steals, and that's what they like to do best, when they can turn you over as a steal, get the ball, and put it in the basket right away without you having a chance to defend them.
And Bruce Pearl brings that intensity, sprung it on the SEC last year. This year, though, I don't think Tennessee's going to sneak up on anybody.
No.
They're a young team. Certainly Florida, the favorite in the East. That's one of the reasons Bruce Pearl was happy with playing so many games before December 1st. Might have shuffled his feet, but Holloway missed the shot anyways. Bradshaw peels away with a rebound, his second.
Holloway really struggling with his jumper and his confidence at this point. They're having a tough time in the last few ball games.
Bradshaw. It's a case where he was fouled, then got the ball back, and then shot it. He may have been fouled before he shot it, but he somehow got the ball, and he sold it well enough he's going to get free throws.
Well, I think he would have gotten free throws anyway. He's into a shooting motion there going into taking his shot, but
I'll buy that.
Was acrobatic to get the ball back and give himself a chance to put it in the hole.
He's not shot free throws well at all this year. He's 11 of 23. And if you're a team like Tennessee that is undersized, plays small, you've got to take advantage of every little opportunity.
Absolutely. The Vols have to improve in that area. Shooting the ball from the foul line. Bradshaw hurt his right wrist last year, and that bothered him all season long, but he played through it. He's a very effective player for Tennessee last year, and is a good defender, even playing the power forward position. He's undersized, but still does a good job defending big guys down low. Very versatile guy.
I think he's a player that really flourished under Bruce Pearl's system. Long pass ahead and a hard foul. Free throws coming up for Dwayne Paul.
Good job by Murray State passing the ball over the pressure defense, taking advantage of Tennessee trying to creep up and put that pressure on. Here's Paul getting to the basket, but can't quite get that shot down with Howell hanging all over it.
Dwayne Paul out of Arlington, Texas. He's one of those guys that's more athletic than his body.
Yeah. He has good hands, and we saw him convert a play where he was getting fouled, still able to lay the ball in. A good athlete, and probably hauling around a little too much weight.
Missed opportunity and a 9-point Tennessee lead. She just dropped in. Tennessee was blowing the doors off of Murray State. Then the Racers came back on a 12-0 run. Lamar Smith, Bradshaw. Coos. Jawan Smith ran over somebody, and it's a block. Billy Kennedy can't believe it.
I thought Curtis Parker did a good job trying to sell that with the yell. Sounded like he'd gotten shot on that one. Couldn't buy the call. Here's a drive. Juwan Smith going to the basket. You see Parker sliding over. I thought that was a pretty good defensive play. I thought he deserved that call.
A break for the Volunteers. And Smith misses a free throw. Tennessee's 5 of 10 from the free throw stripe.
That's a 60% foul shooting team on the year. Juwan Smith, an 81% foul shooter.
You saw Marvin Williams come into the game from Murray State. They're very excited about him. He's one of their freshmen, one of the 4 freshmen that'll play tonight. Didn't get it in. Great play by Tab to find Smith, and Juwan Smith with the follow.
From off his backside as that shot was being taken, Juwan Smith able to gather in the basketball, the rebound, and get 2.
The inbound pass went right to Billy Kennedy. And unfortunately, he's out of eligibility. Tennessee turning up the heat, up 12. This presentation of College Hoops on FSN is brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts and by Lincoln Mercury. This is a big place which is going to get smaller next year. They're going to add on some luxury suites and stuff. Billy Kennedy off that timeout. Not real happy with the way his team is handling the pressure. And it's simple. They just can't get the ball in bounds.
Exactly. Tennessee applying all that heat, trying to deny that inbounds pass, and Murray State has not handled that very well at all this evening.
Yeah, 4 of the 7 turnovers for Murray State are in the backcourt. Juwan Smith, Ramar Smith, Bradshaw, deep 3. Tyler Holloway the rebound for Murray State. Duke Cruz and Josh Tabb complete the 5 out there for Tennessee. This is Ed Horton. Whistle inside. Juwan Smith battling with a little taller individual in there, Marvin Williams, or Ramar Smith rather. Second personal. 16 foul.
Tennessee continuing to use their depth.
They can't get it in under their own basket. Ramar Smith, a stumbling, fumbling layup that goes.
What a pass by Bradshaw. He knew Tennessee had an advantage in that situation. He just flung it down the court. Tennessee, Juwan Smith first getting his hands on the basketball, and Bradshaw just flinging it down to Ramar Smith, who we again see that great athleticism for Ramar Smith, maintaining his balance and getting 2 for Tennessee.
Tennessee on a 10-0 run right now. This has been a game of runs. Murray State, their shot clock running down. Horton. Ball on the floor and a held ball. Possession arrow goes to Tennessee.
This great hustle, great intensity by Tennessee. Bruce Pearl has done a nice job instilling that defensive intensity that you need to play this system, even in his young guys, in this batch of freshmen. They're really getting after it defensively.
I don't think there's anything he does on the court, off the court, that isn't intense.
Yes. He looks like he shed a few pounds too. Coach Pearl looking good.
Well, that intensity will burn off the calories.
He said today it was stress.
9 turnovers now by Murray State. Bradshaw drops it off to Cruz for a big 2-hand dunk. Gorgeous pass by Bradshaw. Back up the floor, Carter. Tennessee ball.
And the Vols have the pace of this game right where Bruce Pearl wants it. And here's Dane Bradshaw driving in. He does a great job penetrating to the basket to set up his teammates. And wow, Duke Cruz slamming it home in traffic.
Bradshaw with 3 assists. He will fill up a stat sheet for you. Lofton, but an offensive foul. He steamrolled one of the racers. It was Ed Horton who took the hit.
But again, Chris Lofton putting it on the floor, getting into the lane, creating a good opportunity for his teammate. He just left his feet that time and committed the charge.
Sean Witherspoon's back in the game for Murray State with 2 personal fouls. With over 6 minutes left first half. Glad you're with us tonight from Knoxville. Tennessee jumped out to a big lead. Murray State reeled them in. Tennessee on a run right now, which has stretched it to 16. And inside, there's the guy we were talking about, Marvin Williams. His first 2.
Good job that time by Murray State. The dribble penetration, setting up the lay-in.
Tab finds Ramar Smith, and he's fouled by Ed Horton. Murray State has played a tough schedule. They went to California, had to play at St. Mary's, which is a good team in the West Coast Conference. That's Gonzaga's league. That was in Morago, where St. Mary's has a nasty hornet's nest of an arena. They also played San Diego State, the #1 team in the Mountain West Conference, and lost at the buzzer on a half-court shot. The freshman missing that free throw, and the freshmen have been playing a lot for Tennessee. Here's their early season, I guess, or early game report card.
Pretty good night for all 3 of those young guys so far. And Josh Tabb also on the court right now, playing some solid minutes and having a good year as well for Tennessee as a freshman. The Vols will rely heavily on this group of young guys this year.
Carter out top to Horton. And Murray State sent their offense. Murray State also played on the road against Southern Illinois. They just a few days ago lost at Illinois Chicago in a game where they had the lead with 2 minutes left and lost by 6.
Murray State, a perennial NCAA tournament participant.
Bradshaw penetrates, Howell's 3. Cruz stripped from behind by DeNiro Thomas.
Good hands by Thomas that time to rake it away from Duke Cruz.
This is what Murray State wants, to be able to get into the half court and run their offense.
Yes, this is exactly what Murray State needs to do to get back into this game. Slow the tempo down and jam it inside.
Bradshaw's second. Billy Kennedy last year was at the side of Frank Haith at the University of Miami. It's been a season as his assistant.
Coach Kennedy's been a head coach at Southeast Louisiana and Centenary.
And an assistant just about everywhere.
He has been around.
Cal, Creighton, Texas A&M, Tulane. He's had a nice rise up the ladder, 42 years of age. And the head coach again.
In a very good situation. Murray State, they love their basketball in Western Kentucky at Murray. Perennial NCAA participant, as I mentioned a few minutes ago, winning the OVC almost every year. Good spot to be for Billy Kennedy.
Howell goes down and has to burn a timeout rather than take a turnover. And a 32-19 Tennessee lead with 4:48 left here in the first half. Well, you talk about the NCAAs and you talk about Murray State. They were there last year. Mick Cronin was the head coach. Remember, a 24-7 season. The city of Cincinnati.
The Volunteers have found out how good Tyler Hansborough and man, North Carolina is just loaded this year.
Whoa, that's strength. Ripping the ball away was Witherspoon. He took it out of Wayne Chisholm's hand.
A lot of folks here in Knoxville getting a little crossed up with Chisholm and Cruz. We did, I think, a few minutes ago. Misidentifying Chisholm.
Dwayne Paul and De Niro Thomas walks. 10 turnovers already. Here's Wayne Chisholm. They've got the sweatbands on. That wouldn't go in Chicago. Ben Wallace probably wishes he were someplace else right now where he could wear that headband.
Murray State kind of struggling right now to put the ball in the basket. Tennessee just chipping away at him.
Chisholm is fouled, and that was the danger of putting Witherspoon back in, that he would pick up his 3rd foul. And he does with 4 minutes left in the first half.
Not a smart foul in that situation by Witherspoon either. Knowing that he has those 2 fouls, he can't reach in down low. He should have gone up and contested that shot by Chisholm, or just, you know, in that situation, gotta give it up.
So Witherspoon sits down. And he takes with him a lot of experience, 11 points and 6 rebounds a game.
Chisholm, such a good 3-point shooter, also a good, pretty good foul shooter, although he hadn't shot them very well so far this year, only 42% coming into this game.
The same can be said for a lot of Tennessee Volunteers.
Chisholm got those 2 down. Tennessee extending their lead.
Daniel Ard in the ball game for Murray State. This is Ard right here. Shot clock down. Horton. Ard's got to get it up. Beat the clock. And the follow won't go.
Another good defensive stand for Tennessee.
Jawan Smith. Lofton falling away. My goodness.
It looked like he didn't have complete control of that basketball. Caught it off his shoe tops, but still able to drill the 3-pointer. 4 for 4 in this game, I believe, from 3-point range by Chris Lofton.
And 13 points. Amazing. Lofton leading the way. Tennessee stretches the lead.
You're watching FSN South.
3:09 left first half. Tennessee on top of Murray State 37-19. Time now for our Southeast Toyota trivia question. Freshman scoring record. And Tennessee, who holds it?
Great history here at Tennessee. Great tradition. Guys like Allen Houston, Ernie Grunfeld, Tony White, Reggie Johnson, Dale Ellis.
Keep going.
A lot of good guys to choose from.
And he wasn't in that list that you just read. He wasn't one of those names.
I just gave you the top 5 scorers in University of Tennessee basketball history.
But it's freshmen we're looking for. Ed Horton drops in his jumper. He's got 5. Tennessee by 16.
Murray State needs to continue to chip away here. Hope they can get this lead down to about 10 by halftime.
Childress.
Childress has really improved, worked really hard this summer, lost about 20 pounds, has improved his ability, and for that reason increased his playing time so far this year. Ryan Childress.
Billy Kennedy wanted to walk on that Childress bucket. He went all the way out to half court, pleading his case. Jawan Smith.
Instead, it's another 5-second call, just that gave Tennessee possession after that Childress basket.
Dwayne Paul with that rebound. Murray State. This is Thomas. De Niro Thomas, a freshman. Horton, the senior. They've signed 2 big recruits for next year. As you mentioned, they have Kevin Thomas off the knee surgery, hopefully back in the lineup in 2 weeks.
I mentioned earlier that that Billy Kennedy has had to go out and find 10 new players entering this year, and he's already signed 2.
Halftime report. Bruce Pearl will talk about the price of success. The Talk about the SEC and the top 25 scores and highlights. The Chevy halftime report. 2 minutes and 2 seconds and change. Murray State gets a couple of points on Denaro Thomas's free throws.
Murray State trying to chip away, and this should help.
The freshman, and that should be a flagrant.
It is. Ryan Childress trying to get back and contest that shot. Just went after Ard a little too aggressively, and Daniel Ard will get 2 shots. As here's Ard stepping into the passing lane and chopped his steps a little too much. He could have gotten to the basket more quickly. I'm not sure if he's trying to dunk the ball or not, but could have gotten to the basket a little more quickly and gotten 2 points for sure.
And he misses the free throw. Murray State will get the possession after the free throws. Ard didn't come close.
It's a tough situation there. You step up to the foul line, nobody else around. You know, it can be a little bit difficult. Kind of like shooting that technical foul shot situation. Ard apparently not used to it. Wasted opportunity for Murray State.
They do get the ball. Dwayne Paul, Thomas. Paul calling for it in the low blocks. This is Kennedy, who drops in a 15-footer.
Good job by Kennedy, staying under control. Chisholm trying to draw the charge, couldn't get it. Kennedy knocking out the jumper.
Childress a 3.
Ryan Childress has improved dramatically this season. Only 18% three-point shooter, but has put it up quite a bit. He's got confidence. Taking 11 threes on the season coming into this game.
A long 3 from Thomas is off. Lofton, that one I think Horton got a piece of.
Yes.
And Horton will push.
That's the way you stop Chris Lofton. You got to get a hand on the shot. Or not let him shoot it at all.
Ard, yeah, count it. That'll make up for those missed free throws.
Yeah, Daniel Ard putting it on the floor again, this time getting the layup to go down. He's still thinking about that situation earlier and the missed free throws. And there's Ard getting it to the basket, dropping in the layup.
That's his 3rd foul on Jordan Howell. Now he gets to shoot a free throw with everybody at the lane.
That's a lot easier.
And he makes
relax, that's right. Relax, it's a routine situation. Everybody.
All right, obviously the 35-second clock off. Tennessee can play for one final shot. Though at the pace they play, that's awful tough to ask of this ball club.
Hang on to it for nearly 30 seconds. But Tennessee working that clock down. See if they can get lost in the shot at the end of this first half.
Here comes Lofton for the ball. Lost it. Got it back. Takes a look at the clock. Takes a long 3. Smith lost it. Childress. Good defense by Dwayne Paul, who stood his ground in a moral victory of sorts for Murray State. They could use him after watching Lofton light him up for 13 in the first half. Chris Lofton and Tennessee on top at the half. 42-28.
You're watching FSN South.
Time now for our Chevy halftime report, and at half, Tennessee with a 14-point lead over Murray State, 42-28. Not quite a full house for this one, but what a year last year attendance-wise for Tennessee. Here at the Thompson Bowling Arena was filled quite often. Almost 18,000 fans, the biggest jump in attendance in the NCAA last year. We asked Bruce Pearl what that meant to him.
No place to go but down, unfortunately, in the SEC East. I think the great challenge is just to try to maintain a level of success and competitiveness that just sends a message that Tennessee basketball is relevant. We certainly had a special year. It was one of the great feel-good stories in college basketball, even if I do say so myself, because the fans embraced us. We had the #1 increase in attendance in the country, and Tennessee men's basketball finished 5th in the nation in attendance last year. Our kids did a great job, and obviously we were rewarded with a good season. But that can happen once in a while, you know, lightning in a bottle. Can we maintain, you know, that competitive edge with a young team? That's going to be a great challenge.
And I guess that's a question across the SEC, is can Tennessee maintain? Bruce Pearl got a lot younger, not himself, but his team from last year, and that can make doing what they did last year very tough.
Yeah, and Coach Pearl admitted today that he didn't think they could do what they did last year, but this team is very capable of making it to the NCAA tournament, and that is quite an accomplishment from where this program was 2 years ago when Coach Pearl arrived.
If Chris Lofton keeps shooting like he's shooting, though, I mean, he's at 18 points a game right now. He's on pace to get over that in this ball game. I mean, that could go a long ways in the SEC.
Oh, absolutely. But I think the other teams know a little better about how to defend Chris Lofton. This Murray State team is so young. They're working on so many things right now that they're having a tough time with the VOLS.
They are. And with Lofton, it's a 14-point halftime lead for Tennessee. Rocky Top happy. Our Chevy halftime report.
This is a lineup that cannot be stopped.
Our Chevy halftime report coming to you from Knoxville, Tennessee. Tennessee up 42-28 over Murray State. Rich Waltz along with Barry Booker back here courtside. Let's talk top 25. Here's good news, bad news. Bad news is only 3 teams in the SEC in the top 25. The good news is they're all in the top 10.
Yeah. A strong and balanced league, as we got Florida at 4, Bama at 6, and LSU at 10. And then also receiving votes Kentucky, Arkansas, and Tennessee. I think there are 6 teams that will make it to the NCAA tournament this year, but it's hard to tell which 6 it's going to be right now.
Oh, you don't have that in your crystal ball.
I got 5 of them, but I'm not. I'm thinking Mississippi State instead of Arkansas, along with those others that are receiving votes in the top 25.
What about Florida right now? Because the Gators are a team that kind of, I don't want to say came out of nowhere, but really came on strong at the end of last year. They've had a good start. The loss to Kansas, of course. Where do you see Florida right now?
They are one of the best teams in the country. A ton of talent, a world of talent on that club, and they will be right there competing for the national championship again this year. And Alabama and LSU, also very good teams. The West is going to be very competitive between those 2 ball clubs.
Any big surprises in the early season? We're not even, I mean, we just arrived in December, but it seems like most teams have played 7 or 8 games. Any team jump out at you that surprised you?
Well, just a few of the losses that the SEC has suffered. Vanderbilt's having a tough start to the year so far. Georgia's lost a couple of games. Arkansas has lost a few early on. I expected all those teams to do a little better than they've done so far.
All right, next college basketball that you'll see here on FSN, a familiar face and one of our colleagues for the last few years. Bobby Cremins is back in the game. College of Charleston going to South Carolina, 7 o'clock on Tuesday on FSN. Make sure you check your local listings to see where the game will be shown in your area. It'd be great to see Coach Cremins on the sideline again. Tennessee by 14 at the half.
You're watching FSN South.
Our Chevy halftime report coming to a close here. Halftime in Knoxville with Tennessee up 42-28 in case you missed it. And even if you watched the first half, let's review, shall we, some highlights.
Well, the highlights begin with Chris Lofton knocking down his first 4 3-pointers of the first half. Tennessee did a great job finding him along the perimeter. And Lofton, when he got it in the air on a clean look, he was able to knock it down. Tennessee's freshmen also played well in the first half. Ramar Smith did a good job, stayed under control in the first half. And there's Wayne Chisholm knocking out that jumper, and Duke Cruz with this slam. The freshman, nice job, very effective in the first half for the Vols.
All right, Barry, talk about these numbers. What jumps out at you?
Obviously the big one, 26-10. Tennessee playing 4 guards much of the time, but controlling the boards in this ball game. Both teams turning it over way too much, not handling the ball very well in the first half.
Yeah, rebounds big, 26-10, as you pointed out. Our Chevy halftime report. Finish. That means basketball is straight away from Knoxville.
And as his defensive assignment.
Holloway got that pass right at the ankles. Horton gets it back. A look at the shot clock.
And the game plan working so far in the second half for Murray State, working that shot clock down.
Look at that. A brilliant whip pass by Horton again to Kennedy.
Murray State driving it to the basket, getting the wide open lay-ins off the dribble penetration.
7-point game. Lofton. And that's his first miss from beyond the arc. Hustle play by Lofton. Out to Howell for 3. Jawan Smith. Bradshaw, who rarely turns it over, controls it. 16 offensive rebounds. 16 offensive rebounds for Tennessee.
And the difference in this ball game, Tennessee controlling the boards.
Strong step through by Cruz. 9 for Cruz.
And the Volunteers just getting those extra opportunities by working the backboards.
Another turnover in the backcourt.
Yet another 5-second violation on Murray State, trying to get the ball in bounds after a made Tennessee basket.
3 5-second calls. Billy Kennedy told us before the game, I would rather have a 5-second call than throw it away and give away a layup.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. You don't want to have Tennessee getting steals in the backcourt that they can convert into quick points. Now at least Murray State has a chance to defend the Volunteers.
Howell straight away. Buries a 3.
Nice pass out by Wayne Chisholm. Jordan Howell, a good shooter, able to knock home the 3.
On the break, Witherspoon was in a little too deep. Look at Bradshaw. It's a block.
Bradshaw weaving his way through traffic. I think he knocked knees with Ed Horton at the end of that play, earning a trip to the foul line.
Horton's going to pick up the foul. Bradshaw had that streak of 181 minutes last year without a turnover.
Bradshaw does a great job controlling the basketball and a very good passer as well. He is the best playmaker on this Tennessee team right now.
Add 3 assists to that line that you saw. Now 5 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, no turnovers.
Bradshaw leading this club, averaging over 4.5 assists per ball game.
A very unique player. He plays really the 4.
Yep.
So he draws some big kids. Wayne Chisholm right into the game and right back into the scoring column.
Just when Murray State feels like they're getting the game under control, they're slowing the tempo and scoring at their end of the court. Tennessee forces a few turnovers, gets a few offensive rebounds, and they're back in control.
Witherspoon step back to take the 3. And Tennessee will push tempo. Look at the offensive rebounds. Bradshaw finds Howell, or rather Lofton.
Good matchup for Lofton to try and put the ball on the floor and create something against Witherspoon, but he didn't get to it.
And that's why oftentimes you see Bradshaw driving from the wing. He's got a great first step, but a lot of teams are sagging off of Lofton, which opens up the inside.
Exactly. Can't help off Chris Lofton, so it creates some driving lanes for the other players on Tennessee.
You see Kennedy out with 3 fouls. Bradshaw, nice look. Jawan Smith 4 assists now for Bradshaw.
Good set play from Tennessee out of the out-of-bounds situation. Ran it to perfection. Bradshaw with the delivery to Juwan Smith to finish it.
Josh Tabb in the game for Tennessee. Thomas. And the push on Curtis Parker. His 3rd personal foul. Murray State drew themselves within 7, but the Volunteers, with some muscle underneath, push it back to double digits. This presentation of College Hoops on FSN is brought to you by Ford. Tennessee on another run right now, a 10-0 run over the last 2.5 minutes. Bruce Pearl with the orange tie. He has an orange sport coat. He has one orange sport coat. Just one, he said. And he only wears it in honor of Ray Mears for Kentucky and Vanderbilt. That's it.
He's got the orange suspenders going underneath his jacket there tonight.
He's got orange ties, orange suspenders, but the sport coat only comes out for Vandy and Kentucky. Bradshaw creating 7 for Bradshaw. Biggest lead for Tennessee. Boy, it's incredible how quickly this game changed.
Yeah.
I mean, Murray State had come within 7.
Yeah, had a great start to the second half. Everything seemed to be going their way, but what Tennessee can do to you with their pressure defense is create those spurts. Bruce Pearl has been just phenomenal here in Knoxville, turning this basketball program around at Tennessee.
Parker's going to pick up his 4th personal foul. Well, he really stamped it with his personality, his intensity, and I think the style of play. And I think that really stoked the fires of the fans here in Knoxville.
Yeah, it's a fun brand of basketball to play and to watch for the Tennessee fans here. And then with the success that Bruce Pearl was able to have last year, remember now, he lost Brandon Crump, Scooter McFadden, some all SEC type players that were on a mediocre Tennessee team 2 years ago. And this ball club has a great year last year, ended up as a #2 seed in the NCAA tournament, win the SEC East. Just a dream season for Bruce Pearl and the Vols last year.
Bradshaw with the foul. It's a system that obviously it's fun because they push tempo and they get up and down the floor, but if you don't play defense, you don't get to run up and down the floor.
Yeah, Coach Pearl doesn't worry too much about bad shots or about anything on the offensive end of the court all that much. But defensively, you got to get after it to play in this Tennessee system.
Juwan Smith picks up the foul. And that's why a freshman coming into this system can be tough, because a lot of freshmen didn't play a lot of defense in high school. This is Tabb off the steal. Nice! 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 Wayne Chisholm, the tomahawk.
And a great find by Josh Tabb. That looked like a 2-on-1 situation, a 2-on-1 break, but Tabb took it down and found the trailer. Wayne Chisholm, great finish by the big guy.
Biggest lead of the ball game by 22. Off on the jumper is Bruce Carter. Off and running are the Volunteers. Childress, Ramar Smith trying to get it through a sea of hands. And it goes to Murray State.
Looked like a deflection by the Racers, but not sure they're getting the break to have to bring it in on the inline out of bounds situation here.
There's a deep throw. The catch, no finish, but a follow by Curtis Parker.
Murray State's done a nice job throwing the ball over the top of this pressure on a couple of occasions to get easy baskets. But for Tennessee, that just increases the tempo. They give up 2, but the tempo is where the Vols want it.
Childress missed the 3. Cruz. But Duke Cruz and Wayne, or rather it's Wayne Chisholm, not Cruz. Wayne Chisholm, along with Cruz, brings so much energy. They're not the tallest big men, but they're a couple of the most active that you'll find.
Well, here's Murray State. The end of that play, throwing over the top of the Tennessee press. Parker on the finish. And here's Tab, his beautiful dish. Wayne Chisholm running the court, hustling, and getting rewarded for it. Nice line there for Wayne Chisholm.
Yeah, not bad. 8 rebounds to go with his 12 points. Murray State will keep the ball.
They can't run the baseline here after having the ball knocked away.
Another deep throw. Holloway. And it was Parker trailing, looking for another dunk. Holloway made the layup.
Nice recovery by Tyler Holloway to come up with that basketball and get the lay-in.
20-point game. Ramar Smith got away with a shoulder. No, he didn't. Late whistle and a charge.
Ramar Smith, not a three-point shooter. He's much more comfortable putting it on the floor, getting into the lane. And there did a nice job of not trying to get all the way to the basket. Just good defense by Tyler Holloway to step in and take that hit.
Well, Murray State looked up and was surprised not to see any volunteers in the backcourt.
Yeah, it's like a sigh of relief there that Tennessee isn't pressing.
Sean Witherspoon on the bench with his 4 fouls. Lofton the steal. Tab. Childress. And that's Lofton's bucket. 15 for Lofton.
Able to do it inside as well as with that long jumper.
He's being asked to do a lot more than just shoot on this team. Parker. And he's fouled by Chisholm. Lofton's being asked to be a leader. Obviously, you have to play defense in this system.
Leadership, no doubt, the most important role for Chris Lofton on this team with a lot of young guys, a lot of guys trying to find their way in college basketball. Chris Lofton, the veteran, the rock that Tennessee can count on.
Murray State is down to 2 timeouts. They have burned a bunch of them just trying to get the ball inbound. Bruce Pearl and Tennessee rolling right now against the Racers of Murray State.
You're watching FSN South.
Tennessee has stretched the lead to 61-39, 12:45 left in Knoxville. Our Southeast Toyota trivia question of the night, the freshman scoring record at Tennessee. Now, you named a lot of big names, but you didn't drop a Bernard King on us.
I didn't get down to the number 6 name on the all-time scoring list at Tennessee, Bernard King. The great New York Knickerbocker as well. Bruce Pearl was talking about how getting to go to Madison Square Garden allowed him to talk to his players about the great tradition that Tennessee has, especially with the Knicks. Ernie Grunfeld and Bernard King, Allen Houston, Tony White spent a little time with the Knicks. A great basketball tradition here in Knoxville.
Holloway's 3. Tab with the rebound. I think he told a lot more people than just his volunteers about that. Something tells me.
He has a way of getting the word around.
When he got to New York.
It's all about Tennessee basketball for Bruce Pearl. He's done a great job promoting this program in addition to putting an excellent and entertaining product on the court for the Volunteers.
Lofton. Chisholm with a shot clock down. Got to get it up. Out ahead. Carter underneath. Bruce Carter with the buckets. Tell you what, when they played Florida last year, the day of the game, who was in the cafeteria but Bruce Pearl? Not to get lunch, but he was standing at the end of the line past the register. And when every student came in and got their food, he introduced himself and said, "We need you to come to the game tonight." And darned if they didn't.
I think he bought a bunch of pizzas for the kids who waited to get the general admission seats in the student section. Coach Pearl supplied pizza on a couple of occasions last year for those volunteer students.
Paul. And he's fouled. Chisholm. Third personal. For Wayne Chisholm, you'll see a lot of them in the SEC over the next 4 years. Tennessee up 61-41. Minutes left in this ballgame. 61-41. Tennessee on top of the Racers from Murray State. Wayne Chisholm, 3 personal fouls. But a tremendous night from this freshman. One of the biggest recruits that Bruce Pearl had in the offseason, probably the biggest from the state of Tennessee, that's for sure. And the freshmen continue to put up good numbers. Duke Cruz 9 points and 5 rebounds. Chisholm actually with 12 points to go with 6 rebounds.
The Volunteers needing that production from their group of freshmen. Smith, Chisholm, Cruz, along with Josh Tabb, will be called on to play some solid minutes, some big minutes for the Volunteers this year. And Bruce Pearl giving them that opportunity to learn early on.
Dwayne Paul missed 1 of 2. Ball loose. Paul's got it and gets a timeout.
And then there was one.
Maybe Tennessee can loan him a timeout or 2. There you see with Chisholm is 12 points, 8 rebounds. Ramar Smith 5 points. I think Bruce Pearl's going to like the 3 assists from Ramar Smith, because that's the area that he talked about for Smith to make the transition from high school combo guard to point guard.
Yeah, and avoiding the turnovers tonight as well. Ramar Smith, I don't believe he has any turnovers this evening. He's done a real nice job staying under control, setting up his teammates with his penetration. Okay, he has 2 turnovers in the second half.
That's all right.
Still been much more under control and maintaining a good attitude as well after being pulled from the starting lineup. It's a tough thing for a freshman to have to deal with that sort of adversity.
Almost an over and back. Horton and the Racers down by 19. A flurry to open up the second half drew Murray State within 7. Powell stripped it. Took it away from Carter. Jawan Smith.
Tough shot by Jawan Smith over Ed Horton. Jawan able to knock it down. Good job by Howell. Got the steal and the assist at the other end.
Carter spotted up for 3. Boy, Paul is working hard in low. Dwayne Paul. Jawan Smith at the bottom of the pile picks up his 2nd personal.
Smith in there scrapping, trying to knock the ball away from Paul. Dwayne Paul just too strong to get it and try and stick it back in. Ends up at the foul line. See if Murray State has one more run at them. Try and cut this lead down in the next few minutes, give themselves a chance in this ball game. We have seen a few 10-0 runs, several double digits to nothing runs from each of these ball clubs tonight.
Paul with the free throw makes it an 18-point game. count them both. 64-43, Tennessee on top of Murray State. Thompson Bowling Arena. Bradshaw in the lane. This game looked like a blowout to start. Murray State made a run, made it close. Tennessee stretched it back. Murray State came back again. And now Tennessee comfortably up. Still playing hard. Oh, the hesitation pass from Bradshaw finds Cruz.
And that last sequence there shows the versatility and the value that Dane Bradshaw brings to this Tennessee ball club. He scored in the low post when he didn't want to shoot the basketball, but the Murray State defender stayed out on the three-point shooters. Bradshaw able to score, then goes to the other end, gets a steal, able to push the break, and like a point guard, find a teammate inside, Duke Cruz, for the easy basket.
And Cruz completes the three-point play. Bradshaw 9 points, 5 assists, 4 rebounds, and a steal now.
A typical night for Dane Bradshaw and Tennessee, converting turnovers into points. 26 for the VOLS on the night.
Marvin Williams. This is Paul, who lost it. Another turnover, 18. Yeah, look at Billy Kennedy. You feel for him. He's here at Tennessee on the road with a team that's very young. We talked about all the players but Murray State lost. He took over a program that almost had to totally start over.
Yeah. Lost 9 guys off last year's team within a month of his arrival on campus. And 4 or 5 graduate, and then for various reasons, several others departed. And Billy Kennedy just about starting over at Murray, and he will pull it together. This ball club is, or this program, is going to be very good, as they have been over the years.
He had a good run at Southeastern Louisiana. Deflected, and will stay with Murray State. But the Racers have lost a lot of close games so far this year. And a Tennessee foul.
Ron Smith picking up his third. It's Tennessee continuing to play their style of basketball, applying that pressure, getting after it on defense.
Kennedy took Southeastern Louisiana to the NCAA tournament his last year. Holloway hits a free throw. He's got 6 points. Murray State's been to the dance 13 times. Bradshaw trying to create some space for Lofton. Cruz, one too many steps.
Tennessee with this big lead right now. It's kind of tough to maintain your concentration when you're sitting here ahead by 27.
Racers started this trip in Illinois against Illinois Chicago. Had a late lead disappear. In the lane, got to get rid of it. Holloway triggers a 3 and hits it. Tyler Holloway's got 9.
Tyler Holloway getting his shooting touch back, having a better night tonight shooting the basketball.
Jawan Smith with a quick shot. Well, when this ball club gets Kevin Thomas back, their point guard, offensive foul. Denaro Thomas, you can really see the value, and a technical foul on Billy Kennedy. You really see the value of a point guard for Murray State, and they're without the guy that would be starting, Kevin Thomas.
Well, against Tennessee's pressure, it's especially important to have all guards on deck. Murray State struggling without Kevin Thomas in the lineup tonight.
Technical on Kennedy. Lofton gets to shoot the free throws. Lofton now with 16.
Good night for Chris Lofton. He's been kind of quiet since that early flurry. Hit his first 4 3-pointers and got Tennessee off to a good start. And then just trying to do what it takes to help his club win the ball game. Didn't go out trying to get 30 points or anything tonight. Just wanting to get the win.
Tyler Holloway has some blood on his elbow. Official's going to take a timeout. And we will as well. Dame Bradshaw on both ends of the floor. 73-47 Tennessee. This presentation of College Hoops on FSN is brought to you by Dodge. In Tennessee tonight, where the Volunteers and their fans pretty happy with what they see so far. This young Tennessee ball club trying to get to 6-2 before they start a rugged 4-game stretch with Memphis, Western Kentucky, Oklahoma State, and Texas. Bruce Pearl's ball club, once they start the SEC, also makes a trip to Ohio State.
He's not bashful, is he?
No.
Going out scheduling the best.
An ambitious schedule.
With a very young team, these schedules come together, about the time what you're going to have. Tennessee knew they were going to be a young ball club this year, but Bruce Pearl wanting to go out and challenge the best teams in the country.
Good cruise. Or rather, it was Chisholm that had the shot and then tipped it back. Tab comes across the lane. Bradshaw. This is Tab. Bradshaw step back 3. Perfect. Bradshaw's got 12.
Excellent night for Dame Bradshaw. His jump shot has gone down for him, in addition to the all-around solid floor game that Dame Bradshaw always brings to the Tennessee Vols.
On the follow, easily almost got the dunk. He did get contact, and he'll get free throws. When Bradshaw is scoring, that changes the whole equation, because you can see defenses sag off of him, daring him to shoot that 3-point shot. They figured they'd rather have him shoot it than, say, a Lofton.
Yeah. And even when Bradshaw penetrates, when he drives to the basket, teams have scouted him and they know that he'd rather pass than get into the lane and try and take a shot. And so they kind of run away from him even when he starts going to the basket. So it's great to see Dame Bradshaw start to score a little bit more and force teams to guard him.
He got a nice ovation as he comes off the floor. Childress with the rebound. Tab missed the 3. That's a travel. Tony Easley, the freshman out of Auburn. 20 turnovers. 7 of the 8 Tennessee opponents have coughed it up 20 times, so Billy Kennedy has company.
Well, Tennessee has done a pretty good job taking care of the basketball themselves. They're sitting here with only 13 on the night. That's what Tennessee needs to get back to, taking care of it themselves and forcing those turnovers from their opponents.
Chisholm will come to the line. Daniel Ard with the foul. Chisholm had 9 points, 9 rebounds at Louisiana Lafayette. He needs a couple rebounds here for a double-double. He's at 12 and 8.
You can see the talent that these young Tennessee players have. Chisholm, Cruz, very good players. They will develop into excellent SEC players. Not quite there yet. Good recruits for Tennessee.
Witherspoon was open. He'll get serenaded after that air ball.
Witherspoon playing with those fouls. He picked up his 4th foul pretty early in the second half. Getting a little more time tonight.
Look down low. Childress. Ryan Childress, just a sophomore out of Cincinnati, with 7 in this game. Witherspoon's shot block goes down hard. Can't save it. He almost went right through Kroger's. Kennedy, a frustrating night. I think he knew he was in for it. When we talked to him this afternoon, he said his young ball club has seen nothing like Tennessee. No pressure like the Vols were going to bring.
And Murray State with just so many things to work on as Billy Kennedy trying to build this program, establish the level of discipline that he wants, get his club to play the kind of defense that he wants them to play. It's so tough for them to take on a difficult opponent to prepare for and play against like Tennessee is.
Ard with the reach, his 3rd. Lofton to the line. 47% from beyond the arc. You know, maybe, just maybe, if he keeps this up, he'll be the all-time leading 3-point shooter by percentage in the SEC.
I don't think he'll get there.
Oh,
career 3-point percentage, I don't think that record can be broken.
You don't think so? Who holds that record? Some guy from Vanderbilt.
Right. Yeah.
The man sitting next to me holds that record.
46% 3-point shooter on my career.
Barry Booker.
Way back in the old days when people didn't know how to defend the 3-point line.
Now wait a minute here. Lofton's got another year too. Lofton, he's got another year, so he could catch you.
He could, but the problem is he's going to have to take so many shots. His team counts on him to produce points. And he's going to have to take so many shots, and he's not going to be able to maintain that high percentage.
He was 44%.
Yes, for his career.
For his career.
Through 2 years.
47% this year. Say he goes 48% this year. Then next year he's got
not a chance he'll go 48%. If he gets in the SEC play, the defenses are going to clamp down on him. And it will be tough. And there's no question that Lofton is a much better shooter than I was.
Oh, wait a minute.
There's no doubt about that. But the percentage, he has to do so much more offensively for this ball club. Unlike me, just taking open 3-point shots when they were there. Lofton has to create and manufacture points for the Tennessee Vols, and it's so tough to maintain that high shooting percentage.
That's why it's important that these freshmen are ready to contribute once SEC play starts.
The inside game is the best friend of a 3-point shooter. And Chris Lofton needs Chisholm and Cruz to really develop quickly.
Spin move by Thomas. Witherspoon.
Oh.
Too strong, Childress. And don't forget Childress in that equation as well. He's a sophomore and an inside guy. He's got 7 points. You add it up, that's, I think, 32 points between Cruz, Chisholm, and Childress tonight. That's not bad production for the Blocks.
That is great production inside. If Tennessee can get that level of production all season long, they'll score in the 80s and 90s every night out.
Whistle inside. And free throws coming up from Murray State. Lamar Smith coming over. The learning process continues. You know, Bruce Pearl told us that you can't be too hard on him, but you have to let him know right from wrong. But you also have to nurture a freshman along, and it doesn't get much easier. Memphis comes in here. Then Western Kentucky. Oklahoma State. Now, the Oklahoma State game is in Nashville, actually.
That's right.
Texas and Tennessee Tech.
That is a nasty stretch. These next 4 ball games, Western Kentucky is a really good ball club, along with Oklahoma State, Texas, Memphis. It's a tough stretch for Tennessee coming up.
Chisholm brings it across. That's not the guy that Bruce Pearl wants handling the ball out near half court, but he did a nice job to advance it.
Coach Pearl is looking for a solid guy to handle the point position for the Tennessee Vols, but Chisholm's not that guy.
Another technical on Murray State. This one's on Ed Horton, and that'll give him 5 personal fouls.
Picked up 2 in a hurry. Committed the foul, reaching in, and then gets the quick technical.
Lofton will gladly take the free throws.
Lofton's very comfortable in that situation with no one around him shooting foul shots.
It doesn't matter. People at the line. If this place were empty, doesn't matter.
He's gonna knock it down.
He's a pure shooter.
And a great kid too, already over 1,000 points for his career. Has a great chance to finish his career at Tennessee, scoring over 2,000 points in his career. Would put him in some very select company. Only 5 guys in Tennessee history able to get over 2,000. Allen Houston, Ernie Grunfeld, Tony White, Reggie Johnson, and Dale Ellis.
Lofton comes out. If there's one guy in that group to compare him to, it's probably Dale Ellis.
Yeah, well, as Ellis's NBA career went, that's true. But in Knoxville, Ellis was a great inside guy, low post scorer. It could ring the bell from the paint. We found out after a couple of years in the NBA that Dale Ellis could shoot it from long range also.
He could ring the bell from anywhere. We're in Knoxville tonight, where Tennessee is running over Murray State. A game that tightened up in the first few seconds of the second half. Since then, it's been all volunteers. Jawan Smith. Powell picks up the loose ball. For the first time this year, Cruz and Chisholm in the game at the same time. Smith missed the 3.
And it won't be the last time. These freshmen, 3 of them out there now for Tennessee, and Chisholm and Cruz manning the interior for Tennessee during this stretch of the ball game right now.
Bruce Pearl told them that for you two to play together, you're going to have to play better. Well, they've played better tonight, and now they're playing together. Tennessee on top. Big.
You're watching FSN South.
3.5 minutes left in this one. 84-51, Tennessee on top of Murray State. Time now for our Dodge drive of the game, and it starts with Dane Bradshaw in the backcourt.
Taking it the length of the court, hesitating in midair, making a decision between Chris Lofton at the three-point line or Duke Cruz at the basket. Dane Bradshaw with our Dodge drive of the game. The pitch inside to big Duke Cruz for the finish.
There are your freshman stats for the night. Cruz, Chisholm, Ramar Smith. And Cruz and Chisholm on the floor right now. Ramar Smith getting a rest over on the bench. He's played a lot tonight. Jawan Smith. This is Tab. Nice play to get it over to Jawan Smith, who missed the 3.
Really good play by Josh Tabb to understand that Murray State had shifted their defense over to the side of the court that he was on. Skip pass to Jawan Smith. Good shot for him, just couldn't get it down.
Strong move by Marvin Williams. Let's not forget that Josh Tabb is a freshman as well. He's kind of flown under the radar with Chisholm, Cruz, and Ramar Smith. It's a travel and a turnover.
Josh Tabb, a really good defender. He's scoring 5 points a game, but maybe the best on the ball defender that Tennessee has.
The Racers of Murray State head into Ohio Valley Conference play early. That's a big conference. They play 20 conference games. Marvin Williams drawing contact.
The OVC, an 11-team league these days, and they play everybody twice, home and away. We've already played a conference game. We're able to take care of Eastern Illinois at home.
Williams at the line. Chisholm will come out. Just a rebound shy of a double-double. 13 points, 9 rebounds. Ben Bossie in the game for the Volunteers. Wow. Billy Kennedy told us that Marvin Williams was an explosive player. He's showing it.
Oh, man, yeah. Great athleticism and really get up in the air and still trying to learn his way around. Young guy.
This is Williams. Lob pass deflected. Bruce Pearl emptying his bench now. 84-55. Tanner Wild into the game.
And getting into the stat sheet right away. Tanner Wild committing that foul on that play. Good drive there from Denaro Thomas along the baseline.
Thomas, the freshman out of New Orleans, completes a three-point play. And from the corner, a deep three. Carrington. Quinn Carrington hits the three. And Murray State answers right back. Tennessee trying to get to 90 now with a minute and a half left. Strong right hand from Tony Pasley.
And even the guys who haven't played very much this season showing that they can play this Tennessee style of basketball. Cannington knocking home a three. Pasley in the lane getting two. Vols maintain that intensity despite the big lead.
Holloway missed the runner. Pasley the rebound. Cannington to Wild. Pasley walked. Tennessee's lead not in doubt since 5 minutes in. Wayne Chisholm, our Lincoln Mercury player of the game, 13 points, 9 rebounds.
Not Chris Lofton. Anytime for Tennessee that the Lincoln Mercury player of the game is not Chris Lofton, that's probably a good sign for Tennessee.
Well, Lofton had 20 points, 4 of 7 from beyond the arc. Ard, count it.
The goaltending there, grabbing the rim, but the ball went in anyway, and the foul. Ard getting a chance for a three-point play.
Well, Eastern Kentucky, a team that Murray State is going to face coming up. They've got Anderson after this one, then Eastern Kentucky, then Morehead State, Jacksonville State, Samford.
It's a lot of league games from here on for the Racers.
Josh Tabb. Crossover move, whips it into the corner. Wild. Missed the three. George Fatso, the rebound from Murray State. And a steal. Tab. Missed the layup. Game over. Tennessee rolls. Bruce Pearl got to be happy with the way his team played tonight. The freshman getting better with every game. Wayne Chisholm, Duke Cruz, even Ramar Smith showed progress tonight. And Bruce Pearl and the Volunteers are now 6-2 as they win it 89-64. For Barry Booker, I'm Rich Waltz from Knoxville. More SEC College Hoops on Tuesday. Bobby Cremins and the College of Charleston coming to South Carolina. That's at 7 o'clock. Check your local listings. This has been a presentation of college basketball on FSN. Goodbye from Knoxville.